Welcome to part 2 of the Tiger Striped guitar. Oh, and there it is. So it's been 24 hours since I painted the final coat of green onto it. Looking good, looking good. It's been baking up here in the paint shack, which is right now probably around 100 degrees up here or so. I'm gonna let it sit here for maybe a couple more days and bring it down and start peeling the tape, and then I will get ready to do the clear coating and wet sanding and all that fun stuff. But we're getting started on part 2 of the video, and here we go. It has been a week, one solid week of sitting up here in the paint shack. It is time to peel these stripes off. Let's go. Okay, so I was gonna lay a piece of tape down, right, and trace out the missing black part, right? So I was gonna trace that out and tape it on either side to keep that open. Watch this shit. Look at this. This is days after this has been dried. Look, the entire fucking green and black paint are peeling up with painter's tape. Painter's tape. The lightest kind of tape you can get. All I have to do is lay this on here, barely press on it like normal, and every bit of that is just shredding off of that. I have never in my life seen anything like this. Every bit of that up. So, safe to say that I don't even have to sand the damn body. So sanding it back down to paint won't be that difficult. This shit is literally flaking off. Okay, now I've got some heavy duty shielding tape. Extremely tacky and very strong. I just laid a couple pieces on here to see what happens. Pretty much the same result. Look at that. Every bit of that has come off by merely putting painter's tape on the body and just peeling it off. I've never seen anything like this before. Well, it's crazy to think that 1 year ago, I got this body from Jeff. He got my name and number and reached out to me wanting a striped pattern. And obviously, if you go back to episode 1 on making this guitar, you'll get the whole history. So I'm not going to repeat that story again. But long story short, we changed the color, we changed the pattern. We ended up going with green and black tiger stripe. I painted it once. The paint completely peeled off. The start of this particular video was going to be me peeling the stripes and going forward with the process of getting it finished, and ended up the paint completely flaked off and I had to start completely over again, which I have not done a great job of documenting because I was very angry and upset at that point. But we have now reached this point of the whole project. 1 year later, I was handed this guitar in October of 2024. It was at the point where I usually tell people I don't paint guitars except from maybe March or April till about, September or October, just depending on the weather. Up to that point, everything I had ever painted and ever worked on had been done outside. I would take my stuff out on my back deck and I would paint holding it on a coat hanger or something and just let it hang dry in my garage. I don't paint in my garage because it doesn't have good ventilation. It's just the open door, front door area. I don't have any way of ventilation, so I don't paint in my garage because therefore it would come into the house and it would stink, and I never wanted to burden my family with that. So this spring, when I said I would normally start painting in April of 2025 comes around and it absolutely rained and rained and rained, and it was cold and it was windy. The conditions just never looked very promising for me to even get started on painting this guitar. So this guitar is the very reason I created the Captain Dean Paint Shack, which is in the top corner of my attic. It has ventilation. It is sealed off from everything else, which we don't have a lot of stuff in storage in our attic anyway, mainly just Christmas and some stuff like that we may need. But I built a little room and it's completely covered in cloth and tarps, and I put a fan up there. You've seen the video. So that room was built because I never thought I was going to get this thing painted at all because of it. But luckily I was able to. I have to still be careful about the seasons of that. If it's too cold outside, if it's too hot in the attic, you can overkill the painting and stuff because the temperature is too high. It can get very humid, obviously, here in Kentucky, so you got to be careful about that. So I learned on how to gauge the perfect timing. In the heat of the summertime, I would go up there in the evening and paint. If you painted in the 80-degree territory, that was good, and then you would just let it hang for a couple of days. That extreme heat of the summer months where it would get like to 110 in the attic, that was good for curing paint, but it wasn't good for curing paint guitars with tape on it. The painter's tape did not handle that very well. So I learned that lesson too. A lot of lessons have been learned in the process of making this guitar. So the end of the video is here for me. Now I do know how to wire, I do know how to install volume pots and input jacks and all that stuff. What I don't know how to do, and what I'm not certified to do, I'm not a luthier by any means when it comes to working on guitars. Mr. Jeff ordered a neck and body from K&M. The neck is undrilled for keys, and the nut is uncut. I do not have the tools or the knowledge to do any of that stuff. So this is now at the end of the road for me. This is as far as I could take it. If you bring me a bass that is fully assembled and you bought a guitar off of a website that is just, it's factory done, you hand that to me, I can take it apart, paint it, and put it back together. That's what I'm good at. That's what I'm capable of doing. This was a raw body build, raw neck, raw everything. It all required many things. So here's where I'm at on it. I'm making this video on a few reasons why. First of all, this is the end of part 2 for me. The video I'm gonna put together, I haven't really done a great job of editing much because it's literally been one of the most incredible learning processes I've ever gone through on working on an instrument. And all the years I've been painting guitars and stuff, this is the most challenging thing I've ever encountered. This is officially leaving my hands as of today. 1 solid year it took to get it painted and to partially begin the assembly, just to find out that many things involved, especially right here, are out of my league. And so I have to pass this on to someone else. I hope to get some pictures and video of this once it's completed, and I can share that with you guys. But this is the end of the process for me. This is the Tiger Stripe for Jeff. He's been extremely patient and thoughtful during the whole thing. At one point he told me to just put all this in a pile and light it on fire, but I refused to give up. 3rd time was a charm, and I got the body painted. This is the first time I have ever wet sanded and lacquered and wet sanded and lacquered. I've never done anything to be in a factory finish, and I've never done anything that was solid body. Everything I've pretty much done has pick guards and, you know, things like that. So I've never really worried about the whole thing. I just always focused on this area, and a little bit of this area. I've never had to worry about a solid body guitar. I don't have that many. The ones I've done, of course, are the Van Halen style. And when you do an Eddie Van Halen, you know, it can look like shit. It can be beat up. It can have runs. It can have scuffs and scratches. And this is acceptable because that's the norm. But to do something that's like borderline perfect, this is a first for me. I learned a lot from it. I've taken the wet sanding technique and I've done it on a few other things that I've built recently or painted recently. But anyway, I needed to make a video to explain all this and put a final nail in the coffin on my end. I've done what I was asked to do. I've painted the body. I really wanted to get it finished and assembled, but once all the parts came to me, I realized it was way out of my league. So here we are. This is the end of it for me. I want to say thank you to Mr. Jeff for trusting in me to paint this guitar. 3rd time was a charm, and we finally got it. Thank you for being patient. Thank you for working with me and believing in me and giving me the confidence I needed during the down times, because you and I both had our days where we both wanted to just toss this into the river and never see it again. But I didn't give up, and you didn't give up on me, so thank you for that. I learned a lot of lessons from this guitar, and I hope it is cherished and played, and hang it on your wall and admire it. It is a beautiful guitar, and I can't wait to see it finished, and can't wait to hear it. But anyway, there you go. Captain Dean's Paint Shack. Please don't bring me a raw body guitar to paint. Thank you. Good night.